Committee, the delegates are all here, Division 1 league clubs, Premier League clubs, constituent bodies, regional FAs, all the delegates are around to either agree or disagree. But in the end, what we are all expecting as Ghanaians is that all parties will reach a consensus, and then football, as we have all been yearning for, will once again come back and make all of us happy. Will you say this calls for jubilation for people in the football family?
I wouldn't call that we need to jubilate over this, because it's a process that we needed to go through. I would rather term today as a great day for Ghana football, but not necessarily for jubilation. Because I think that these are not personal stuff. Yeah, it's a good step for Ghana football. At least there's a clear way forward in terms of the process and going through the roadmap for election of executive committee. So I think that represents a great day in the history of Ghana football.
Did you at any point in time in the deliberation anticipate that it's going to be a very difficult day?
Yes, and we're prepared for it. Because obviously we're talking about regulation, we're talking about laws like government. It may favor some bodies, it may not favor some group of people. So obviously we expected that there could be debate, and we were prepared for it. And that's what got us to where we got to.
At a point in time, we could all see that it looks as if nobody was moving in agreement with the dictates of the FIFA rep, Luka Nicolai. What really was it the matter that most of you didn't?
No, at a point in time, we felt that he was not necessarily threatening us, but he was going a bit overboard. Maybe he wanted to intimidate us with the name of FIFA. But what is FIFA? FIFA gives you rules and regulations. This is laws, and we read them. All the amendments we suggested, we made references to the FIFA standard statute, and so we're not afraid of what he was saying. So that's why we're trying to tell him that he should be a bit calm and be a bit cool, and that we're not doing anything contrary to the provisions in the FIFA standard statute.
The president of the normalization committee is on record to have said that with this done, the doors have been opened for elections to elect who becomes the next GFA president and whatever. What do you anticipate to be happening in the next few days?
No, now what I anticipate is that the NC should serve notice of election, the election requirement, the procedure as to how we're going to go by it, and subsequent to that, serve notice of Congress, elective Congress, once we'll be able to elect the new ESCO and president. But I know for a fact that between now and September 30, which is the deadline given to the NC by FIFA, we will not be able to go through that. So obviously, naturally, we should expect that this process will overrun the time period, and that we may be able to do this probably by October ending or mid of November.
So do you, as a delegate and as a club leader, have somebody in mind?
No, not now. Not now. I think that we need to go through the process, go through vetting. And then after vetting, then the candidate as published by the NC, then we will then analyze the various manifestos from the various contestants. Then we'll be able to make a decision as to who we think can help move Ghana football forward. Let's compare football in 2019 to 2017. Football has gone down. There's no league as we speak to now. There's no any form of sponsorship. There's nothing. And so we need to read through the manifestos coming from the people, and then we'll be able to make a decision as to who to back.
You're on record to have contested for the executive committee position before. Now it is executive council. Are you going again?
Well, I've been approached by quite a few number of people who think that I'll be of help to the new ESCO if I contest. And I said yes, right? But it needs a lot of preparation. And so I'm confirming to you, probably I'm breaking it to you, that I may offer myself to contest for a position on the ESCO if the time arises, and if, by grace of God, I'm in good health.
Obviously, if you are contesting for that position, then you will need a team that you can work with very well to ensure that Ghana football moves forward. Do you have any team in mind, and who do you expect to work with?
Once again, you need to analyze manifesto from the people and see which one buys into your vision before you can align with the person. And I haven't seen any manifesto from any of the contestants yet. I mean, so once it is that document is made public, then we analyze them and see who can better help Ghana football, who then shares in my vision. Then I can align with their particular candidate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The reality is that we have various interests. And when the proposals with respect to reducing numbers of delegates and presence on the executive committee and others came up, we knew very well that various constituencies would try and protect their turf. So it wasn't going to be an easy affair. And I'm sure that you saw what transpired at Congress today. They had to take a lot of divine wisdom and tact and negotiation, to help us reach a consensus to move forward. It was like you were being threatened. If you do not accept this, then be prepared to have the NC stay on much longer. So it was more of a blackmail, sort of, But what it actually meant was that by FIFA's processes, if you make any material changes to what we have already approved, we'll still have to let the relevant departments go through them and ensure that they comply. Look, we got to this point simply because this process we had today should have happened before the NC took the document to FIFA. So what would have gone to FIFA would have been what we proposed today. And then FIFA would have just cleared it, and that would have been it. That's what happened in 2004. In this case, the NC decided that it will go to FIFA before it came to us. And that's why you had a situation where there were going to be material changes to the document. But there's no point in crying over spilt milk. We've moved past that block. We've reached a compromise. We've taken some giant steps. For all those other things that are not dire with respect to the immediacy of its deployment, we will definitely come back and look at those things clause by clause and deal with them. Campaign has started already. Unless those who do not know, it started already. What we will now find out is the exact time frame, where things will be done, because people were campaigning without knowing when the elections will be held. People have not gone around to find signatures for their stuff and all that. So we would have an intensification of the campaign, not just for the presidential slots, but for the constituency slots as well, because now everybody is fully aware of how many slots Premier has, how many RFAs have. And one of the interesting things will be that in the past, once you become an RFA chairman, you know that you are home and dry on the executive committee. Now, the 10 of them will have to go and compete for 2 slots. That's also going to be an interesting angle. And we'll watch the space and see how it goes.
You are on record to have said that you are not interested in the GFA position. Any candidates you are
supporting? let the candidates declare first, and then I declare my support.
Already we know of the free and Anaya.
Well, you never know who else has not. So let's wait.
So it's likely your candidate has not declared yet?
It is likely he has declared, it's likely he's not declared.
Thank you very much. It's been a very long day, and finally there's been a consensus. The statutes of the Normalization Committee have been accepted and adopted. How refreshing is it for you as a club administrator?
Well, I think that is the best news we can have in 9 months. I'm saying this based on the fact that in 9 months we have not been in control of our game. In 9 months we've not had organized football. Okay, and today is the beginning of a new story to be told. Today, football clubs showed that we can come together, think about ourselves, and make positive inputs towards our own lives. And I'm extremely happy about what has happened today.
Of course, after the resolutions at Congress, a lot of numbers have been reduced. A proposed 120 delegates by the Normalization Committee has been accepted. There were ups and downs, there were ins and outs, additions and subtractions. What really caught your attention?
Well, I think that in coming here, I said to myself, we come from different clubs, we represent different interest groups, for which reason there will be divergent of views. But we have the capacity to come together, to think positive, to think oneness, and to think Ghana. And today again we showed it.
Your declaration for the presidency of the Ghana Football Association seems to have taken some people by shock. Many people were not expecting that Tophic would be coming, but in the end you are in. Why did it take that long?
Well, I don't think that it took me so long. I don't think so. I think that we've been going about our business our own way. I think that we've been planning about how to navigate to the promised land our own way. And we've always said that we knew when we would come out public. Okay? We'll continue to stick with our plan and we'll not play to the gallery. Not at all. And that's the way I have been made up. And I'm sure that beyond the official announcement, there's more to come. Well, I expect them to be fair. I expect them to be fair. And I expect them to provide a fair playing field for all the aspirants so that at the end, Ghana football will be the winner.
Finally, should you win to become the next FA president, are you ready to bring all the other aspirants on board and work with them?
I think that if people say that I have been successful, it's only because I've been able to work, or I work with people with divergent views. People who may not necessarily agree with me, I found a way to always work with such people. In the same way, it's so important that we respect the qualities of each and every aspirant, what each and everybody brings on the table. If we win, which we are going to do, we will work with every aspirant who was part of the contest. Everybody has a role to play, and I think that if there's one person who is a unifier, it is Ketu Krafu.
Thank you very much. 120 delegates have finally been agreed upon instead of the existing 123. The Executive Committee of the Ghana Football Association will change not to a board of directors, but an executive council with a membership of 12 instead of the already 23. These and many more have been made in the proposed statutes, which have now been accepted and adopted at Congress to rule and govern Ghana football.